Welcome to the official podcast of Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society. This is Whispers from the Dark. All right. Why don't you introduce yourself? A little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Becky Evans from Seattle, Washington, and I've been in the paranormal field for a good 20 years, and, anything paranormal, I'm always drawn to it. So I knew that Brandon was throwing this, Katie and everybody, and, definitely wanted to be a part of their, event, and here I am.
So what got you into the paranormal?
Well, back when I was 6 years old, I had an experience back in Alabama that really drew me to it and made me curious then. But then of course, when you get a little older, you kind of get out of it. It's kind of like this gets you scared. Mm-hmm. But as I got into my 20s, that's when I had another experience. That's when it really piqued my interest, and I was like, you know what, I really wanted to get back out there. And then I started having my gifts open up. I'm starting to have gifts open up that's really drawing me to locations. It's really piquing my interest of being an empath, sensitive. I feel things. I'm drawn to spots, like when I'm watching videos on Facebook or even on TV when I'm watching the shows and stuff. I feel it before they do it, and it's like it confirms it, before that happens. And I've asked others, and they've actually are helping me along with my gifts right now. So it's like I'm a beginner, so I'm still learning.
Do you mind telling us, what was the experiences that you've had?
Well, I know when I was little, I was 6 years old. I wasn't the only one that experienced it. My ex-stepmother's mom, it was like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. We had this lady show up in our room. She was in a black dress with a white pearl necklace, black brown hair, and it was as if she was, a real person, but she was flowy. But she was smiling, and she was looking at me, straight at me, eyes straight at me, and just waving at me, not speaking, not doing anything, along the lines of, it was, like a peaceful hello, type of thing. And I kind of said, and she said, don't say nothing, just let her do what she's doing. So we both saw it. And then 3 nights in a row she did it. And then after that, disappeared. Never seen her again. Well, like I said, in my 20s, I walked into one of the metaphysical stores in Florida. Nobody would have known that experience. And I had a gentleman, when you were a little, just spoke to me. So when you were a little girl, you had an experience that, and he spoke her name, said Betty. White pearl necklace. And when he said white pearl necklace, I about fell out. And that right then and there, I was just, okay, I got to find out more about this. Ever since I've had so much interest in the paranormal. And then I'm also, of course, the UFOs. There's so many other unique things. There's too many stories out there to know there's other things out there. So Of course, I'm open to all genres of the paranormal, not only the ghosts, and it's whatever's out there is out there, and we're on the verge of finding out.
One way or another, yeah, it's all coming out here, man. So, have you looked up so you said that you're kind of getting more into your gift and stuff of being able to see these things and experience them. Have you done any research into who Betty is or how she might be connected to you or anything like that?
I actually don't, but I've had a couple people that have, been, psychic mediums, have claimed that she is a guide or a protector, type of. I think more of a. She might be my spirit guide. It may be more than that. I mean, I'm still, kind of trying to sense her again. I haven't seen her, but more I learn my gifts and more I think I'll find her again. But right now I haven't found her again. And so, of course, I will find her when the time is right. And of course, they'll show themselves when they're ready. And of course, like I said, for me, I'm still learning, and I've got a lot of learning to do. And I know everybody has gifts. It's just I got to hone in on mine and focus and know what to focus on. And when I do, I'll know.
Very cool. Very cool. So where else have you done investigating and stuff?
Well, I've done some investigations over at the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital in Tennessee. That's one of my best captures of on camera. I've got a picture that I've caught a full body apparition, and nobody's ever been able to debunk it. And it was just me and two other girls on that floor, and the two girls are physically in front of me. But I always take burst pictures. Well, the second picture was not the girls. They're physically in front of me, but my second picture was not the girls. Even though they're physically in front of me, it was a gentleman, and he was putting his finger up to his mouth and saying shush. So it's on the third floor. So you're talking about that's up there where the ward was and where the nursery was. So I pretty much think that might have been the caretaker that was telling us to be quiet because, people are trying to sleep. But it was 11 o'clock in the morning. So that really piqued my interest big time when I saw that picture. I was like, what? And we showed one of the ladies' husband, and he's a skeptic, full-blown skeptic, and he's a believer ever since he's seen that picture. He's like, I would have never believed it until I saw you take that picture.
That's really cool.
Seeing that picture after you saw, took that. So I was like, what? But I've had, so many experiences. I've gone up to Kel's Irish Pub in Seattle. There's a few places up in Marysville, Washington that I've been doing some investigating with a team up there. I get invited with other teams to do investigations, so I'm open to joining other teams just because that's how I like to join other teams, and I don't belong to one, but I feel like I belong to others. It's like that's how I am. I love to belong to other people and meet other people, make new friends, and that's just me. It's like I just don't want to belong to just one certain. I want to belong to everybody.
That's a good way to learn too. Just put yourself out there, and you get to learn other people's styles and learn from other people.
Oh yeah.
Too, so.
That is how you learn other people's. You don't copy their stuff, but it's just what she or he did. That gives you an idea. Maybe what can I do to make that better, or hey, that's a good idea. Maybe I could do that. Add another investigation or something like that. But I really feel that's the way to go. And plus, too, you can always feed off other people's energies and, see where the spirits are led. because the spirits are always going to be drawn to the people. You can have some, you can go to an investigation and have nothing. It means the spirits aren't there, or, they're just not going to be out there. Or you have a full-blown, the spirits are revved up, and that means the people are revved up.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the people that's there. So it's just how you're drawn to it.
We've definitely done some investigations with very low energy people and stuff, and the activity is just nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And we've done the exact same location with people that are super excited and happy and really into it, and all the activities revved up because these, whatever this stuff is, the other side here is just people.
Mm-hmm.
And are you going to want to communicate and hang out with people that are boring and just sitting there? Can you make a light up? Can you make a light up? Can you make a light up? You don't want to do that.
Yes.
I don't want to do that now. That sounds like a job.
The spirits are going to get, it gets old, I believe. They're going to hear that same question over and over. It's like, talk to them like the real people, because that's how they were when they were alive.
Mm-hmm.
Or if it's a place that the spirit wasn't a person, it could be just the energy that's drawn to that location from something else or whatever, because you have energies that are dogs, cats. You've got multiple energies that are just drawn to locations. So you have to talk to their people. It's like, hey, I'm Becky. Hey, and what's your name? Introduce yourself, and this is how we can communicate, And if they start communicating, by all means, that's a great thing. If that doesn't happen, then, you figure a different way out. And I feel that's what these locations need, not just knock on the wood,
Mm-hmm.
knock 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to happen all the time, and people are going to what was that? Somebody could be stepping on a piece of wood and make it knock, and it's going to be like, are you sure it wasn't that piece of wood that you just stepped on?
Yep.
You always have to discern, the location. And that's why I always double check, triple check, make sure before I say, okay, now that was a legit thing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's always good to debunk. Even when you're going into these places and they have all these claims of stuff that's there, you always want to try and look for the easiest explanation, because people are like, well, then you're trying to just debunk everything that's there, and I don't believe that. If you're trying to debunk the stuff that is claimed there, what that is doing is making everything that you can't debunk even more valuable.
Mm-hmm.
If you getting these knocks as a reply and you cannot debunk it, well, that means that they're really important, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to just the walls are creaking, and if you can prove that, well, then anything else that you get is even more valuable too, because it's not that wall creaking, or yeah. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's how, some of my locations, some of the teams I have been on is just, as we talk about, is knock on the wood. It just goes back to that. It's like, you got to come up with better questions. You got to open yourself to talking to the people like the real people, and just like a definite conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching these videos on Facebook, these investigations, and just normal talk, and they're getting more evidence by just normal talk than they are by asking them to knock on the wood, or what's your name, or just the general questions.
Mm-hmm.
They're twisting the words, or they're making something more of a conversation and making the spirits communicate better.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like this location, I've already had a sense of there's already a spot that I've already been drawn to, that I already had something happen that I feel I'll be more drawn to, I think, at nighttime. But at the bridge,
Okay.
I was by myself over there, it felt like as if a horse and buggy was being drawn over that bridge, and I felt the vibration of it.
Very cool.
And I was like, now this is kind of cool, you know? And nobody was around. And I'm like, yeah. I just say, okay, this is a good start. Here we go. Because I just got here.
So with your gift and your talent and stuff, like, how do you, where are you at with this? Like, some people hear voices, some people see things, or they're shown things. What is, how do you feel that you're communicating?
Mine is feeling.
Okay.
I feel mine is more sense. I mean, the more feeling of, it's so strong. It's like
energy, emotion, or?
Yeah, energy,
Okay.
emotion. But then it's like, some of it I don't know. I still haven't been able to hone how I know it. It's like how I know it's a male or a female spirit. That's what's so weird. Is like I get so many confirmations of that location, like and they confirm it every time that I was correct. I was like, but how did I know that it was a male spirit? Or how did I know it was a female spirit? So that's where I'm still learning. It's like, how did I know? But I felt it. I sensed it. And, like, there was an investigation that Katie was on. And I told her to, I felt, I was like, because they was on Facebook Live. And I told her, I said, go to the right. I mean, because I feel it so strong when I'm watching everybody, and I'm at home. So I'm like, I believe it's because I'm by myself. And I told her, go to the right. And she had so much evidence right in that spot. And, and then, of course, they spoke about it on the podcast when I was on their podcast, and it's like, yeah, she's definitely picking up on some stuff, because it's just something about it. It's just the sensation, the feeling about it. I just don't know how I'm getting it though. That's what I've got to learn. And so there's some others that are trying to help me. Like I'm taking some classes and trying to get to where I can slowly, learn about myself and get more focused on what I need to do to finally get to that point of knowing, how I knew that. And right now I don't. It's like I'm kind of confused, but I'm kind of like excited because it's like I got a confirmation about it, but it's like, how did I know? So that's where my confusion lies.
Well, it's kind of like you just have to understand yourself. If you're feeling a certain thing, you get to, the more you practice and the more you get that confirmation of what it means and stuff, you can start to put a name to the feeling and to the energy and stuff, so that the next time that you feel it, you can, okay, this is what it means. That's what it meant last time, and kind of to build from there.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you're from Seattle, you said.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm Bigfoot and stuff, So
Yes.
obviously you got that up there. Have you delved any into the Bigfooting up
I
there?
haven't done any investigating on the Bigfoot, but I have the news recently. I mean, well, a couple years ago when I was up there. I actually grew up in Alabama, but I'm living up in Seattle. But when I was up there 2 years ago, the DOT put it on the news that there was a Bigfoot-like creature up there on their DOT camera, and nobody would have been up there close to Mount Rainier.
Mm-hmm.
And legit, 100% cryptid. I 100% believe that was definitely a Bigfoot-like creature, and everybody's like, oh, it was somebody in there. No. Nobody is going to look like that. And of course, during that situation and everything, where
We have guests on the podcast. Hello. Hello, Mary. How are you doing?
Hi there, Barnaby.
Hi, Mary.
I like your laugh.
Thank you. Yeah, Mary Barrett here from. She's was a past guest on our show.
That's the doctor in that.
Dr. Mary Barrett.
Dr.
Yes.
Mary Barrett.
Stopping by to say hello. There's a lot of stuff up by Mount Rainier. I mean, that's
Oh,
one of the main
yes.
places up there that I know. Cliff Barrickman has his museum in Boring, Oregon, and that. But he's always talking about the Mount Rainier stuff and a lot of sightings and that in the area.
Actually, they haven't had a sighting, and they just had a recent sighting of a moose up there that they haven't. They just announced that like a month ago, and they said, well, it's unusual for a moose to be up here. But somebody had taken, it was on a trail cam of a moose up there. I'm like, oh, but I thought they were all up here. Especially in Mount Rainier, you've got elk, you got deer, coyotes, wolves. I mean, of course, I definitely feel Bigfoot's up there because there's so many things that can be up in those mountains. And where I'm located around all like 6 or 7 different volcanoes.
Oh, good.
So-
Yeah, that's where I'd pick too.
So it's like, okay, I know there's some unusual energies up there. And then there's also UFO type sightings up there as well,
Yes.
especially with the energies of the volcanoes. So I feel that's definitely what's drawing the,
Now, did you
that.
say you had UFO experiences as well?
Oh yes,
Oh, sure, we'll talk about
I'm,
that.
Like I said, I'm all over it. Actually, I was in Oregon visiting some friends, and it was actually police radio on the police radio. Tongue tied there. Police radio, and we heard them talking. Do you see that? No. Do you see that? Like, what are they seeing? And they announced where they were at, so we all went outside. Sure enough, right there, I mean, and this is a small town of 300, so it's a real tiny town, and we were sitting there. It was like a flat disc-like shape, UFO kind of thing. And we were all sitting there. It was glowing, had some lights on it and everything. And next thing you know, it was gone. And you hear on the police radio, dude, I ain't saying not a word. and we never said anything either. But I myself, I know full-fledged, I seen what I seen. And we had witnesses to prove it too. So it was like, that was the most, closest experience I've ever seen, but it was like far enough where, of course we were just like, what? It was like, you're seeing what I see. Yeah, you see what I see, and the police even see what we see. Everybody saw this. So, I mean, I don't know if anybody else in that town saw it. They probably did. But I know the police saw it, and that piqued our interest because they always listen to the police radio anyway. So it was like, okay, let's go outside and let's find out what they're talking about. And that's what we saw.
Wow. So was that during the daytime or nighttime?
Daytime.
Wow.
It was pure daytime.
How big would you say it was?
Oh, it was huge.
Yeah.
It was definitely a huge saucer-like, ship-like shape. I mean, it was probably about as big as that cabin right there,
A little bigger than a bus or so then.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
But it was kind of weird. But like I said, we all saw it, and I was like, wow. But I didn't have, at that time, I didn't have cameras or nothing. So
Yeah.
I was like, man, if only I had cameras. But back then, this was like 20, my son was a baby, so my son's 28 now. So it's like, 28 years ago when I saw that. And of course, I keep looking up to the sky, and then I hear a lot about, experiences around Washington, so I've been looking up to the sky. Where's my experience again? I want to see it again. And I haven't seen it since, but I do see planes, and then I see these other lights, and I'm like, could that be? And it makes me wonder. But of course, you got the Elon Musk through those Starlinks up there making people think it's something, and it's not. And it's those satellites and stuff. So it makes people think, oh no, that's something going on. But I have seen some weird light type anomalies up there in the sky and not know what it is.
You wouldn't believe how many reports that we get of like Starlink up by us, and people are taking pictures of them. It's like that's Starlink.
Yeah.
What about this one? That's Starlink. What about this? Look, I got these weird lights. That's Starlink. They were all in a row. Yeah, that's Starlink.
Yeah,
all right,
if
it's
you
Starlink. We're good.
It's going in a line.
Yeah.
That's Starlink because they follow each other. Mm-hmm. It's not an alien invasion. It's just the Starlink. Because when it first happened, that's when I was like, oh, wow. And then I was like, wait a minute. That's that Elon Musk thing. Mm-hmm. But then I saw these little lights pop in the clouds and disappear and then show up over here and then lights over here. I'm like, so what am I seeing? And I still haven't been able to peep that one out. And I don't know if could that be drones? Could that be something? And I'm always looking to the sky day or night. And so it's like, and that was during the day when I saw those little lights popping into the clouds and popping out and popping into the sky. And it's like, something's going on.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of the whole orbs situation? Like a lot of people that go out bigfooting and stuff see these, glowing orbs of light in the woods and that. And I'm not talking about the orbs in the pictures, the dust debate or whatever, but the actual lights in the woods and that.
Now, if I'm doing an investigation and if I saw an orb, I haven't seen one yet. So until I can see one myself, I wouldn't know if that's legit.
Absolutely. 100% agree on that. Uh-oh. We're being watched again. You looking for scissors? No, I have scissors. I'm not live. I'm recording. But
we're recording.
They're in the top bin up there. That's what I in thought. That tub. So you said you weren't with an actual team. Mm-hmm. So is there any place do you go out and do investigations? Can people get a hold of you if they want you to come and do something, up in Seattle, or if there's a team in your area that's interested? How can people get a hold of you?
Just Facebook. Look me at Becky Evans. I'm on Facebook, and my email is lildarlin38@gmail.com.
Very cool. I always like to get that out there, because we're from Wisconsin. We're down here in South Carolina. Obviously, if you tell me to come to your house today, I'm not coming to your house. So it's always good to people that are in the area to, send them to different areas that they can, find people. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. That. And I like to, like I said, I like to get out, and I know I work a full-time job during the day, but I do like to get out and experience more places, and I want to do it full time, but right now, till I can get that avenue of being able to do it full time, I do it on the weekends. So anybody wants, would like me to come to them, I'll be more than happy to do it on the weekends for sure.
Sounds good, man. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you stopping by, and hopefully we kept you awake after your long, bumpy flight you said you had.
Oh, my God, yes. Yes, that was the most worst flight ever from Seattle to here, and let me tell you. And then the drive wasn't so bad. It's just being by myself in that truck, being quiet. So I turned up the radio sky high and listening to old classic rock, jamming out until I could get here. But yeah, thank you for having me on your show and everything.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Whispers from the Dark. To find out more about cryptids, anomalies, and the Paranormal Society, visit us at our website at wisconsincaps.com. That's wisconsincaps.com. There you can find links to all of our social media: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and our Patreon. You will see links to our online store as well, where you can get t-shirts, DVDs, and more. If you click on the public events page, you can find out where you can meet us in person and all the public events we have coming up. If you enjoy our podcast or our YouTube shows, please consider becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/WisconsinCaps. There you can find behind-the-scenes pictures and videos from all of our media, as well as bonus footage and evidence that we have collected. If you have encountered something you can't explain, we want to hear from you. Visit our website and click on Submit a Report on our main screen. You can choose to leave your contact information or simply remain anonymous. You can also reach us via email at wisconsincaps@gmail.com. If you would like to be a guest on our show, please contact us on our Whispers from the Dark podcast page on Facebook, or send us an email at wisconsincaps.com. Remember to like, share, and subscribe wherever you listen or watch or find us.